What's going on, my beautiful people? I'm gonna go over quickly the 6 trades that we took this week. This is our weekly recap. Real fast, if you want to join the free Telegram, I send out all my trades, all the trades that I take personally for free. Every single week I go through, every single day I go through and send out my free analysis inside my Telegram chat. Everything's free right now. I am building a course. I actually gave out my course link to 5 people the last night, just so that we could polish things up for everybody else for the course before it releases towards the end of this month slash beginning of next month, right? So that's exciting. And yeah, as you can see, I share all the trades, right? Share every single trade, even trades that I may not take personally, but just the way I'm looking at the chart at the time, right? So if you want to go ahead and join that, that'll be in the description, right? But this is just our weekly recap. This is, well, my weekly recap, right? Because I personally don't send signals, okay? So these are the trades that I took personally, and then you can go through the analysis and obviously see when and where and how I took it, right? But this week I took 6 trades, right? And personally, I won 2 of those trades, I lost 2 of those trades, and I broke even on 2 of those trades. So I technically had a 33% win ratio this week with an average risk to reward of 1 to 4, and I still came out profitable. And I literally was up 5%. You can see right here. I gained 5.5% this week off of 2 wins. And this is gonna be an eye opener for people that may not know so much about risk to reward or risk management in general. But you can see I had a 33% win ratio this week, and I still came out up 5.5%. A lot of people can't make it to this point because they'll hit the 2 losses, 2 break evens, and they don't allow themselves to get the 2 wins, right? But this is just right here. This is a good example of showing you that you don't need to be profitable all the time, right? Your results are gonna be random over the short term. The goal is to make them predictable over the long term, right? And that's what we're doing every single week, right? So first trade, USD CAD. I really want to go over this one because this was a good trade, right? You can see it hit break even. I have it next to every trade on every pair, right? This one hit break even. I want to tell you why I took it, right? So first things first, we had this. Well, first, if we go back out here to the 4-hour, right? This is what I was looking at. You can see we had this right here, right? We had this big swing up, and then that doesn't have to do much with this trade over here, but it just has to do with the momentum, right? We're moving up. Clearly we had this big push up. We're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows until here. We didn't break this high, and then this low, we're obviously breaking it again, right? So what I was looking at here before this happened, right? I was looking at this right here. We had this accumulation, right? And then we had this big move up, right? And even right here, you could say that we had this right here, this move up, this accumulation, this dip down. This is still kind of accumulating orders just within this whole zone, right? So just within this whole area, it's kind of accumulating orders right now. It's going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's taking people out of trades who are getting on the wrong side of trades, right? Just accumulating orders to make the move that it really wants to make, right? So it's coming over here, it's just creating a whole bunch of orders, and then when it came down here, started consolidating, it made a little like base, right? And then just took off. And as soon as it came back down here, it did the exact same thing. Little base, took off, right? So all I was looking for was price to come back into this area right here, because this is an order block, right? If we go back even over here, I think it was on the daily time frame, right here, you can see this down candle before this big up move, right? Before this continuation up. Now there's a lot, it seems to be a lot of volume right here, right? Which is why this order block was significant to me, right? You don't just want to be picking and choosing any down candle before an up move. There's a lot of volume within this up move, right? Even if we go back to the 1 hour or the 4-hour or any time frame really, you can see, sorry, excuse me, you can see that right here, there's just a lot of volume within this move, right? Now that I look at it, it's not as much volume as I'd like, right? This move is obviously still better you know, even this down candle before this up move. No, because it kind of retests it, right? But order block is going to be more significant if it just takes off from that area and never comes back, right? Like this order block right here, this might be something to look at in the future, right? I usually have my order block levels green, right? So that might be something to look at in the future, but you know, you just wait until it happens. But as of this point, right, what I was looking at was, you know, this order block and then this big push up. We never retested it, right? So all I was looking for was for price to come back down into this order block zone and react, because if it does have a good reaction off of here and move up, then we can expect this same push up, you know what I'm saying? And I also have the fib marked up right here, you can see, and this is just kind of just more confluence with what I saw, right? I saw this dip, we touched this first order block, we touched this order block, right? This down move before this up move. We touched this order block once and we had a good reaction off of it. Now, I think what I would do differently now that I'm looking at this, right? I would not consider this second tap off of this order block, because a good order block, in my opinion, or at least as I've throughout my trading journey, a good order block doesn't seem doesn't tend to get tapped twice like this, right? If you're looking for an order block entry, quote unquote, right? You're looking for that big accumulation, then a swing, and then you're trying to get like that snipe, but like that literally quote unquote sniper entry where it just touches your entry and goes back. You're not going to necessarily want to be looking for a second tap off of that area, considering that it was an area where you just wanted it to hit once, right? So now that it comes here and it hits this zone a second time, if I was to trade off of this zone, maybe, but then still it could come up, hit this level, reject, and go down, right? So I think that that's exactly the reason why I let it get above this zone before taking the trade, because I didn't want it to reject off the bottom of this zone and fall back down. But you can see right here, even on the 4-hour time frame, if we're looking at closures like inside of this level, right, we had this dip below and then it closed inside, and then it closed above, came back down, closed above the bottom of the zone, and then this came up, went below, closed above the bottom of the zone, went below, tried to come up, closed above, right? So that second close above, I think that's where we got our entry, because this W was starting to form, right? And if you are watching and went through a lot of market reviews and updates, I really tend to use M's and W's, right, as entries. So this W started to form, and I saw this fib as another confluence. If we go to the 30 or 15 minute time frame, right, you'll draw your fib from the top of this move, or the bottom to the top, right, of the swing, and then this will show you, the percentage of the drawdown that's expected, or not expected, but the percentage of the drawdown that price is making, right? And price tends to respect certain fib levels more than others, but this was a good confluence for me, because if we bring it from the top, right, all the way down to the bottom of this wick, you can see this green area of interest is literally right in the middle of the 50 and 38 level, right? So it was like it seemed like a really, really, really good trade to me. If I saw this again, would I take it? Yeah. So am I upset about taking it? No. And it also hit break even, so not losing money is always an amazing thing, right? This went up 40 pips, a little bit over 40 pips. Our break even target is 25 pips, right? So you would have set your alert somewhere in there, right? And you would have moved your stops to break even. This would have came down, hit break even. And now that I was like going through this and I'm doing this again, right? What I would do differently is what I did right here, right? I saw this come down, I saw this come up, I saw this come down, I saw this come up, and I got this entry, where was it? After this rejection, wait, no. I think it was like up here. I think this was our entry. Right there. Alright. So price came up, it just closed above with this 15, and I saw this W starting to form, so I got in right there. Now what I would do differently is I would have taken an entry off of this green level, right? Because we can see it's pretty respected, right? And I obviously drew up another level for a reason, okay? So I would take an entry off this green level, have my stops below there. You can see that made it a 1 to 11. But if I'm just to target this next fib zone, you can see, right? This is the, well, this is actually, wait, is this the top of the, so this wasn't out yet, right? It was like this. Oh, wait. Let me not confuse myself real fast. Yeah, so it's like that, right? And yeah, you can see I just would have taken a different entry, right? I would have taken an entry off the green level. I'm really pausing. I know I just like really blanked out real fast, so I hope I didn't lose nobody right there. But yeah, that was the trade that we took on USD CAD. Hit break even, not too much, right? And then this one we hit break even. Same thing, to be honest. AUD USD. This was an amazing trade for me. Especially as soon as we got into it, right? It was like this was our entry right here. Literally, this candle that wicked up into it and started to fall back down. Came up, played around, fell again, right? So we could have had targets anywhere around here, in one of these levels, right? And this would have hit take profit. We could have had a tighter stop loss, you know, somewhere above this high right here, because it never even went above that high. That could have been an easy 1 to 5, right? That's just how you could have adjusted things, but that's not the trade that we took, obviously, or I took, right? I took this trade right here. Looks something like that, right? So the reason why I had my stops above here was just because these swing highs, right? But the reason why this trade was so significant to me was just because we had this right here. We had this move up, right? We had this accumulation, then it fell down. And this is the same thing that happened right here, right? We had this right here, accumulation, fall. As soon as we come back into this area, we just fall again. So as soon as we came back up into this area, I just looked for an order block within this this imbalance, right? And all that I was doing was looking to trade off of the order block within this imbalance, and that's what this line is, right? If we go down to the 15, I think it's the 3-minute actually. And this is why, you know, taking advantage of all your time frames is very key, because, you know, I'm using a 3-minute order block right here, and it got us a pretty good entry, right? So you can see this order block, right? This clear imbalance is just moving straight down. It doesn't have any drawdown, right? But we have this little up move before this continuation down, right? So I was just looking at this area as an area of interest, you could say, right? So as soon as price came back up into this area of interest, what did it do? It fell. Okay, and that's right off that order block that we were talking about. It's this market and price. It does the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? So if you can look at what numbers price is reacting off of and making good movements off of, you're going to be able to capitalize off those same exact movements later on, right? So this order block, right? That's all we were looking at. Came up, touched the order block level, fell, and I think, where was it? Yeah, see, this is our entry right here. And I actually had an order limit. I had a order, yeah, it was an order limit set right here at a what? My mind is all over the place right now. I had a sell limit right here, right at I think it was 72925, and I actually sent it in the Telegram too. Let me see. AUD look, AUD USD order limit set 72925, and that was, look at the order block is all marked off, right? So you can just see that I send these trades out, right? I'm sharing the analysis, and if you're able to learn from it, I hope that I hope that somebody's able to learn from it, right? Because this is simple stuff that I wish I could have learned at the beginning, right? So just take advantage of price doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Every single time it's up in this area, it's making big swings down. So what can I expect price to do when it comes back up into this area and make another big swing down, right? That's that simple. So then you start to get into the ins and outs of what's making it go back down right there, right? And then what specific area am I going to look for to get an entry in this, big area of interest, right? And then the third thing, is it going to continue to do that, right? Or is it going to come back up into this level and go the other way, right? So that all has a lot to do with it, right? And the reason why this probably didn't continue to go down, right? This low didn't break this low, right? So this may not be in a downtrend anymore. We might have broke this trend line. We might have created a higher low, right? And now we might be moving back up, but we don't know. We don't know for sure, right? But the reason why I continued to look for sell opportunities because this was in a clear downtrend, right? We're in a clear downtrend right here. It's not moving up. Yes, we did break this trend line. Yes, this did not make a lower low right here, but this could potentially still come down. So I thought it was a great opportunity to look for sells, and it was in a sense, right? We could have had smaller targets. It's obviously not the best idea to have super far targets all the time, but we had an order limit set here because of that order block, right? It came up into here, it fell. I didn't take an entry, so I set an order limit as soon as it fell from here, and it literally came back up into the order limit perfectly, fell again, came back up, fell again, came back up, and this time it decided not to fall, right? It actually used it as a support. So yeah, that was a good it was an exciting trade for me, right? I was excited when I got in. I was excited when it started to fall into profit because of just the analysis, right? Yeah, I like trades like this. I love my levels trading. I love trading level to level, but when it comes to just market flow, and then the reason why candlesticks are forming the way they're forming and why the market's doing why it's doing, and then taking a trade based off of that, it makes me, and it can make you a lot more comfortable, right, when you understand the reasoning on why the market's doing what it's doing, instead of just following rules and being like, okay, if it does this, then I'm getting in, because if it does this, then it's got to do this, right? But you don't have any clear understanding of why the market's doing what it's doing when you follow your rule, right? So that's why I like taking trades based off of order blocks, and then just like institutional order flow and things like that, right? So then GBP USD, the next trade that we took, this is the first trade that we took on GU. It was Monday, I think, and a little 1 to 3.39, right? It was an easy win, right? And the only thing that we're looking at on here was this right here, right? And this is why, like I said, it's so key to use multiple time frames, right? Because you can see I drew this on at the beginning of the week. Look at how it's respecting it, right? Literally this little, I don't know what this is. It's like a diagonal support resistance trend zone. It came down, had this little wick. I started to draw a zone from here because I saw that these were like evened out, right? And then it literally just started to play the top of it, right? So that's why it's so important to just make sure that you understand that this can do whatever the fuck it wants whenever it wants, right? I have a diagonal support and resistance trend zone marked up on a 30-minute time frame. How many people probably don't have this on their chart, which just shows you that there's so many different perspectives, right? So you just want to look at it as in, where are people at, where are players, where is money, right? So money is obviously sitting on or below this trend line, right? Because when it gets to this trend line, people are going to be buying, people are going to be selling if it breaks it, right? If it breaks it, some people are going to have sell limits set underneath it, right? So there's just a lot of liquidity resting on this trend line, because we see every time it gets to it, it wants to react, right? So this is where we can expect price to be driving towards at the moment. We also have this double top right here, right? So we can expect price to maybe come up here a little bit, right? So maybe price wants to drive this way, and bring this up before bringing it back down, right? Maybe price wants to swing below this before coming and picking this back up. Either way, I think price is looking towards taking out both of these right now before making an actual move, right? So GU, I'm just kind of watching it. We're also at this big zone, right? If we go back to the 4-hour, you can see the 136 flat, right? It's a pretty special number for GU right now. We're above it, but you know, I think it's pretty easy for GU to bust back down through here. We're just gonna have to see what it does, right? But if we get some 4-hour closures like above this zone or below this zone, 2 4-hour closures plus an M or a W, that's all I'm looking for GU, and I'm taking it. But I want it to be above or below this level, right? And I want it to be obvious. I want it to be screaming at us before we take it, and I'll take it because it's gonna be a good trade, right? Every single time we hit 136, we took off. 136 took off. 136 almost took off. And then we just disrespected it. We just fell through it, right? So now that we're back up at 136, we can expect a nice move off of here because of the amount of money that's sitting around here, right? That's exactly why all this accumulation is happening, because there's such clean moves off of here. There's a lot of liquidity resting at this level right now. So people are buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling their ass off because this is such a key level, right? It's getting up here, people are buying, 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 and then it falls, and then people are selling, 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 and it's literally just manipulation. Look at that big up candle, big down candle, big up candle, and then it comes back up, then it goes back down, then it comes back up, now it's on its way back down. It's literally just a bunch of manipulation right now so that price can do what it really wants to do in the long run, right? Which is why you have to know that not trading is actually a skill, okay? I took 6 trades this week, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. I have 5 pairs, and I took 6 trades this week. That means I took basically a trade on a pair every day. A lot of you are getting in multiple trades, multiple pairs every day, and you know it's making sure that your results are random. That's the truth. You're making sure your results are random if you're not keeping things the same, right? If you're changing everything up, or you're changing your strategy or your process or the way you're thinking, it's gonna keep you in an unprofitable state because you're not tracking anything, right? But that's GU. That was the one trade we took on GU this week. We also took a sell on GJ. This was pretty, right? This one right here. So let me see what this was. That was a beautiful trade. That was literally the start of the mentorship group. But this trade right here, really nice trade, right? So we can see GJ. It's one of those pairs that I think really respects numbers, right? So the reason why I took this trade was just because we're at this really respected level, right? We have this touch, we have a nice move, we come down, we have this, we have the closes below, right? We have a couple 2-hour closures below. It actually looks like we might have had a 4-hour closure below. Yeah, 4-hour closure below, 2 wicks into the level, then we fell nicely, right? Come back up into the level, and then a lot of exhaustion, and then we faked out above it before falling again, right? So when we came back up into this level, I expected price to kind of respect it, right? And I can see that we're in this downtrend, so we're looking for sales, okay? And I was looking for an area of interest, right? And coincidentally, the order block area of interest, right, was on this level, right? Because if we're to draw this order block up, let me go back, right? This would be the order block right here, this last up candle before the down move, right? So this would be the order block that would be our area of interest, you know, and instead of just drawing another zone on top of my zone that I already had here, I just used my previous zone, right? And that's all that was. So price came up into here. All I was looking for was a little M off of this, and look at that, a perfect M. And this is why M's and W's are so important, especially if you're in this mentorship group and following my trades, because you'll just understand how and why I'm taking the trades that I'm taking, right? But all I was looking for was an M on here. We got this 15-minute close right here. This M started to form, right? So if we're in replay mode, it would look like this. Let me delete this real fast, right? So that's what it would look like, right, on replay mode. Then I got an entry right there, and you can just let price play out, right? Literally just fail to take profit. And that was another 4% this week. You can see another 4.25, right? And that 4 plus the other, like, I think it was 3.5. I think it was 3.5% one on GU. Yeah, it was like 3.3. Yeah, so it came out like 5.5, 6%, right? It was like 5.5, 5.75% or something like that. But either way, like 5%, right? This week. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about gold, but we took this trade on gold. This is actually pretty funny. You can see, marked up this area of interest, right? We had this nice level of support. We had this fall below, came back up, and I just wanted to use it as support again. And I had this 4-hour level, right? Here's this 4-hour level, the gray one, right? I mean the white one. This is our 4-hour level. You can see it's more so respected by the 4-hour candles more than anything else, right? But then I went down to the lower time frames and I drew this green level on, which happens to be for the 1-hour time frame, right? You can see how clean it respects it on the 1 hour, and that's exactly what price tapped, right? So if I was more patient, instead of trying to take the trade at the bottom of this green zone, at the bottom of this gray zone, and then just having my stop at this green level, I could have been less greedy and had my stop below here, which could have been perfectly fine. Or I could have been a little bit more disciplined and waited for an entry off of this level instead of trying to get an entry inside of this gray level, right? So that's all I would have done differently with this gold trade. If I saw it again, would I still take it? Most likely, yeah. So I'm not upset about it at all. I lost 1% on here, but gold is a fun pair to trade. Every single time I trade gold, I learn something, right? Even this last one, look at this. We got stopped out on this last trade with gold too, right? So I always learn something, and that's the most important part when it comes to trading, right? You have to enjoy your process. You have to enjoy learning, and getting better, because you're gonna be doing it forever, right? But as long as you understand, and the point with this video, right, is just to show you that you don't gotta do anything crazy, right? You don't need a 99% win rate. You don't need to take 1,000,000 trades, right? You don't need a crazy risk to reward, right? I took 6 trades this week, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 break-evens. I showed you every single trade, literally a 33% win ratio this week. That's so ass. So it's not even ass, but a lot of people are gonna look at that 33% and they're gonna be like, what? He's trying to teach me how to trade? He has a 33% win rate, and I bet you I'm more profitable than 99% of you. And that's not to toot my own horn or talk bad about you either, but it's just the understanding of the game, you could say, right? It's not about the win ratio. It's not about the crazy risk to reward. It's not about taking 1,000,000 trades. It's about being predictable and consistent over the long term, right? Which a lot of people can't do, okay? So I just want to show you that you don't got to do a lot to be winning, to have a winning week, right? And depending on your account size, obviously 5.5% is going to be different for you than it is for me. But if you're consistent with your risk, right, you're going to be able to change your lot size eventually, right? And that's the cool part about keeping the same risk, right? I risk 1% every single trade, and I do not get into the market with more than 3% at a time, right? So I have 5 pairs, right? Let's say I'm in USD CAD, I'm in AUD USD, and I'm in GU. If I see a setup on GJ, I do not get in, right? Because I already have 3% inside of the market. And the only reason I do that is because I have the understanding that anything can happen at any time, right? That all 3, all 4, all 5 of these pairs can go in the opposite direction of what I think is going to happen, just because it can, okay? You can listen, learn, and know any strategy or concept you want. You do not know what this market is going to do. And as soon as you understand that, and understand that your results are always going to be random over the short term, and that you need to figure out how to make them predictable over the long term, it's going to be hard to truly be profitable as a trader, right? You're gonna win a couple trades here and there. You're gonna come up on a big bag because you over leveraged and risked this crazy amount, but then you're gonna go ahead and lose it all, right? And it's important to understand that your results are always going to be random over the short term, because this can do whatever it wants whenever it wants, right? This is meant to take a retail trader's money. That's what this market does. It's meant to take people's money so that it can give institutional traders more money, right? And the only thing we're trying to do is weed out all the unsystematic things we're doing and become the profitable retail trader, right? Because there's a lot of retail traders that are profitable, that know how to capitalize off a movement, but you have to understand why things are happening the way they're happening, one, and two, know that you just need to create a system that's going to keep you profitable over time, right? Simple. That's all I wanted to go over with this video. I didn't want to make it too long. I didn't want to make it, too much, right? But let me go back. I don't know why my circles are so crazy, but look, I just wanted to show you guys. I only took a couple trades this week, right? Took 6 trades, only won 2. 33% win ratio, and I was still profitable this week, right? And I just want to, that just goes to show that you just got to have a plan, okay? And a plan's gonna get you somewhere, but if you can't follow it, then what's the point in a plan, right? So hope everybody's having a good weekend, man. I hope you're studying. I hope you're back testing. And if you are one of the individuals that got the course for free, man, kudos. I really do look forward to your feedback, and I look forward to you helping polish things up for the rest of the community before we launch this thing. And I'm excited, man. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for all the feedback I'm getting, throughout not only the course, but just the Telegram channel in general, right? I have a lot of people reaching out and messaging me, and doing what you guys do when it comes to appreciation. And I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate you too, man. This is dope just to see people learning and taking pride in getting better, and not only at something, but just getting better in general, right? It's dope, man. I hope I can continue to help shorten this learning curve for you guys, and I hope you continue to keep your head in the books, man. And that's it, really. I hope you guys have a good one. I hope this helped you, and kudos.